Hey, y'all. We are back again. Back again. Tell your friends. Is that a song? Is that an Eminem song? Anyway, hey, y'all. This is Intentional Living Podcast with SonjaW. And I am back to assist you with starting off your week with a little less chaos. Okay, so I am super excited to be back again. Coming in, come on in, folks. But yes, I am super excited to be back again on another Monday morning, 7 a.m. ready to go. So as usual, we come together every Monday to make sure that we are setting up our week for success, right? So we're going to break down those 5 things that we do, right? We're going to have our good things. We're going to talk about the good things that happened last week so that we can get excited for all the good that's going to happen this week. Then we're going to talk about what's on the docket for this week. Then we're going to break down this intentional topic of the week. Last week we talked about how in the world I figured out that I needed to level up my systems because y'all. And now today we're going to talk about how I actually decided to level up and how I started that process. And we still going through it. We're still trying to make sure and figure out how I am going to level up what I do so that I can keep organized and keep intentional in my life. Okay. So I want to walk you through what I did so that you can do the same thing when you realize that it's time to level up. Then we're going to pray it out and then get started on that weekly review. Okay. So let's get into it today. All right, so I'm going to talk about the good things that happened last week for me. Like I always mention at every podcast, it's so important to be able to have eyes to see what good happened last week so that you can stir up your heart and your mind for all the good that's going to happen in the week in the week ahead. I talk about how thankfulness and really understanding on what happened in your life helps you to build resilience, to build your life so that you can actually do it all over again every single day. Okay. These are survival tactics. Okay. Survival tactics. But anyway, yes. So the good things is the segment where I break down a couple of good things that happened to me this past week. And if you're online right now, you're going to tell me what good happened for you. And if you're not online, you're catching this on the replay or catching it on the podcast, go ahead and tell me in the comments below wherever you're watching or listening, okay? And let me know what good things happened to you this past week, all right? So let me tell you, all right. We had so many good things. I'm so excited. Y'all see my hair? Now, if you're listening to the podcast, you can't see me, but you can always watch it on YouTube, right? And check it out. I have some beautiful curls in my locks today. And that's because I tried pipe cleaner curls for the first time. So I don't know why I have this pipe cleaner here. But I have a pipe cleaner. So I use these pipe cleaners to put in the hair and let it dry. Oh, it's gone. Okay. I dropped the pipe cleaner that I picked up. I randomly still had a pipe cleaner in my office. Anyway, but I use that to curl my hair. I let it air dry, all that kind of stuff for like, I guess 24 hours. And now we have beautiful curls. So I'm going to probably do this a whole lot more because I really like what it looks like. It's really cute. If you're catching this on the regular podcast, go check me out on YouTube, SonjaWCoaching, because you got to see the curls. You got to see the curls. Anyway, so I did that and that was cool. And then also we celebrated my nephew's birthday. His birthday is actually today. Today is, I'm recording this, we're live on, what is today? September 16th. So his birthday is today. But we had a party last Saturday, or 2 days ago, to celebrate him. It was just outside because he loved to be outside. He loved to play and kick balls. And I wouldn't really call it soccer yet, but he likes to kick balls and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, we got to celebrate my nephew turning 4, and it was amazing. Had a great time with family, just sitting outside and talking. I don't know if you're in the Maryland area, or if you were and if you were outside on Saturday, but the weather was perfection. That's another good thing. The weather was so beautiful on Saturday. It was just nice, just a regular good temperature. There was a breeze. It was amazing. Okay. And then I also had an awesome Sunday. Now, Oh, almost forgot. Then I went out with coworkers to celebrate us publishing our first public use file from one of our surveys. So just so you know, I'm in the federal government. We do surveys, and we were able to produce a file that researchers can use. It is free for you to use. If you are a researcher and into healthcare research, holla at me. But anyway, um but so I went out with coworkers on Thursday to celebrate that, and that was really, really fun, right? So what else happened? There's so much good that happened this past week. Oh, and then Sunday, yesterday was amazing. Okay. So it was amazing because it was baptism Sunday. So and my team, the team that I lead, takes care of that every month, right? And reason why it was so good is that there was so many beautiful stories. There was actually one girl who watched online. She watched the 8:30 online and was like, I need to get baptized. And she literally threw clothes on her toddler and headed out the door to make sure that she could be baptized at 10:15. Like, it was just amazing to hear that story. But anyway, it was a good time. Make sure that you break down your good things. Now, again, it's so important that you do that, not because we're trying to be bragging or anything like that, but it makes you get excited for what's to come. Because if all of that good happened last week, your body, your mind can't help but to expect good to happen again. Like, there's science behind this. I'm not just doing this because it's cool, right? But there's power in what we dwell on. Even the Bible talks about how what you meditate on is what you will see, right? So if you're meditating on the good, then you're going to see more good. And that's the whole point, to thinking about the good things that happened the week before. All right. So we got over our good things. Now, what's on the docket? So again, every part of this is how you build out your weekly review, right? You think about the good things that happen, and then you break down, well, what in the world do I actually have to do this week? Okay. So for me, I'm actually going to continue on this leveling up tour for myself, right? Like, I'm realizing that the systems and the things that I did while I was just a team lead in my work and still volunteering at church, still having my business, is not enough to be able to handle the new responsibility that I have at work. So I have been working on changing up a little bit of my systems, figuring out what makes more sense. Like, okay, my routine, my morning routine is good, but how about my work startup routine? How about my system in writing notes? Like, I'm overhauling everything. And so that is what I'm going to continue to do this week at work. I got lots of meetings at work as usual. I got meetings all the time, meetings all day. Okay. So got lots of different meetings. I don't think anything major is happening at work for me. Trying to think. I hope I'm not lying to myself. We're gonna find out when I get into the the office today, when I turn on my computer for work today. But I don't think I have anything major for today, or for this week. I mean, trying to look through. Yeah, I don't think I have anything major during the day, but I do have some things happening this week. So my church, we're starting our group season. So I'm in this group called, I think it's called Women Cultivating Women. I'm so excited about it because the co-host, or the host, are basing it off of those verses in Titus, where it talks about how the older women should kind of mentor the younger women and blah, 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 blah. So I'm excited because I'm excited to be mentored. Okay. I want to learn how to live as a woman. Okay. Or continue to live as a woman, because I've been a woman all my life. Anyway, never mind. I'm not gonna go down that road. And then I got another group that I'm gonna be going to. This semester I'm not doing a group because you know what? It was wisdom, because I knew I was coming into a new position, and I was like, I don't know if I can handle it. And I was right. Okay. So I'm only going to be attending groups this year. But super excited for the groups that I'm going to attend. I feel like I got everything. I think that's all the major things. I'm like looking at my calendar and just making sure, because I don't want to surprise myself. And that's the whole point to checking out what's on your docket, what's in your calendar. What type of meetings do you have at work? Do you need to prep for those meetings, right? Is there something that you need to do ahead of time? Now you have the opportunity to make room for it in your schedule because you took a moment to actually look it up and actually see, oh, I do have something on Wednesday. I need to make sure that I'm preparing for that ahead of time, you know? So that's the whole point to making sure that you know what's on your docket so that you can plan well, so that you can be intentional with the moments that you have. Because we need to make sure that we're intentional with the time that we have here, right? Psalm 90:12. All right. So let's get into the intentional topic of the week: how to level up. All right. So last week I had told y'all that I was drowning. Okay. I got this new position. I'm still acting in my old position because this was a promotion and now, my position is empty. So there's a lot of things that I have to do. I'm learning how to be a branch chief. Kind of, I think. I'm supposed to be, right? But then I'm also still having to be the team lead that I was, right? There's still work that needs to be done. So learning how to balance all of that and learning how to work through all of that. First, I had to recognize that I had a problem, that I needed to level up my systems, right? And I did that last week, and I realized that there was a couple of things that were happening in my life that was that were indicators that I needed to change something, right? I was working late a lot. Sometimes I work late. That happens, right? Sometimes we all work late. But when you're doing it almost every day and you didn't plan ahead for it, now that's a little indicator, at least for me, that I need to be thinking about my systems. I was forgetful. I was forgetting things that I shouldn't forget. And that was because they were in my head and not on paper. We do talk about this. Actually, I might talk about this a little bit more, getting everything out of your head, right? Because we have to have mind like water, right? We have to be able, and that's kind of a saying that this guy, David Allen, with his productivity program called Getting Things Done, or Getting Things Done, GTD method. Right. And we're going to talk actually a little bit about his main focus in the GTD method, because that's what I use to try to figure out my life. Okay. But anyway, um you have to have a mind that is still, that only reacts to the actual stimulus. But you can't do that if you have a million things going on in your head, right? So you got to get it out. You got to get it out. And I was being forgetful because it was in my head and not in my planner, not in my notebooks, the things that I write notes on, right? And then also I was extremely tired. Like, even though I was getting sleep and getting the sleep for the most part that I was supposed to, I was really tired, like always tired. And then I even got sick, and I don't typically get sick. So it was just like, okay, now we doing too much, something's happening, right? I want you to do the same. Start to figure out your triggers. What are the things that are happening in your mind and in your body that actually help you recognize that there's a problem somewhere? There's a system that needs to be upgraded, tweaked, changed, right? Perhaps it is the same as mine. You're forgetful, you're tired all the time, right? You feel frazzled. What is it that is indicative? There we go. That's the word. What is it that is indicative of a life that needs to be leveled up? Figure that out for yourself and get to work. Okay. So that's what I remember from last week. So now, last week or 2 weeks ago, last week I started this process, and I'm actually kind of still going through it because I'm trying to figure out the right systems now. But the first thing that I had to do was to actually lay it out all on the table. Okay. So I'm going to break down 5 things that I did. Is it 5 things? 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, it's 5 things with a comment. That's what it is. Wait, hold on. Take a moment. You know what? I should be able to count, right? I should. So we're going to talk about the 5 things that I've done. The few things that I've done. We're going to say few, and then we're going to figure out at the end how many it was, okay? But we're going to take a few minutes to work through the few things that I've done and started to do to level up, to start changing my systems. One, took a moment, and then I captured, I clarified, I organized, am still organizing, okay? And then last but not really least, and probably the most important, is prayer, okay? Prayer. So it was five in a comment. So one, I took a moment. I actually really didn't realize that I needed this time until I spent my Sabbath the way I was supposed to. I'm very serious about really taking a day to rest in the Lord, right? And I have done that, but I didn't do it to the level that I needed to. And it wasn't until I did this past last weekend that I really realized that I needed to figure out my life. Okay. It was in that moment of stillness that I was able to see, oh, there's some things that need to change. There's some things that need to be reorganized. So I encourage you off top, really take this idea of rest seriously. The Lord has given us a body that gets tired, and he understood that. So he wants us to rest. He is our full rest, right? He is the rest and the Sabbath, all that kind of stuff, right? But our bodies still need to stop. So take some time, really find a moment where you can take some time to rest and make it something that's regular, weekly, if you can. You should try to. Okay. Then the second thing, and then these couple of things, these, I guess, three things in the middle are part of a system that I can't take credit for. I do it my own kind of way, but I can't take credit for it. It's the David Allen Getting Things Done method, GTD method. And the first thing that he does is capture. You capture everything, meaning you take everything that's in your head and you take it out and you put it somewhere. You'll put them on perhaps post-its, right? Just every single thing that you got to do that's on your mind, you write it out on post-its, or you write it out on a notebook. I don't have my notebook here, but like some sheets of paper, and just start writing them like as a long list. He suggests doing like post-its or small pieces of paper, because it gives you a little bit less stress to see it all in your face, right? Because you're only seeing things one at a time. And it also helps with the next step. So that first part is capture. Second part is to clarify. Figure out what you need to do and who needs to do it. So after you've written down everything on a little piece of paper or on your list, now you're going to look at each thing one by one and see what needs to do. Is it something that's actionable? Is it something that can be done? All right. Who needs to do it? When does it need to be done? What's the next thing that you need to do for it? Figure that out. All right. Then the third thing is to organize. All right, now that you figured out that it is actionable and you figured out that it might be something that needs to get done, either you're going to do it or you're going to delegate it. Now it's time to organize. You put it somewhere. You put it in your calendar. If you got a notebook system that you trust, you put it there. Like whatever it is that you need to do. Is it scheduling? I don't know, like a hair appointment. You need to get your hair done. Is it scheduling a hair appointment? What? Oh, you don't have a hairdresser? Is it actually figuring out finding time to go look for a hairdresser? Like that's how you're breaking those things down. And those are the three things. And then he has some other steps that you go through. And if anybody ever needs any help with that, I'm here. I can talk with you. I can break it down. I can give you David Allen's resources, or we can work together to figure out how to break all that down, and work through that, right? And then the final thing is prayer. Now, it's the final thing, but I think it's the most important thing. I think sometimes when we get stressed, we forget that our God is the one that helps us, that our God is the one that allows us, that gives us the wisdom to move forward, right? So it's so important to take a moment to pray, because the Lord might even give you strategy. I actually just finished reading in my Bible reading plan about David. I forgot which battle it was, but he was going to battle the Philistines, I think. I think he's always fighting the Philistines, so it's probably them. And he asked the Lord what to do. And the Lord told him in the first battle. And then the second battle came, and he went back and asked the Lord. And what the Lord told him to do was different from the first time, right? So there's a key there, is actually taking a moment to seek God and find out the right strategy for what you are supposed to do. And then finally, just as an aside, these are the moments that you may be a little bit slower, right? Be okay with that. Be okay with moving just a little bit slower so that you can actually get over top or on top of this new level of responsibility or change in your life. Okay. All right. So those are the things real quick, fast, in a hurry. We're actually going to continue to work through this. I think I was like, I'm still trying to level up. So we're going to be leveling up together. Okay. Um, so as usual, we always end with prayer. So I'm going to go ahead into that dream boost prayer. All right, let's go. Lord, show us how to take the moment we need to reset and level up. Give us a clear mind so that we can lay out the task before us and move forward effectively and intentionally. Thank you, Lord, in advance for your wisdom and grace through it all. All right, y'all. I hope that was good for y'all. I hope y'all are leveling up as I'm leveling up my own intentional living. And I am excited to see you guys next week. All right, y'all. Bye.